Welcome to the UKOCR Community Podcast, presented by Obstacle Racing Media. Each episode, we'll be talking to race directors, elite runners, weekend warriors, and frankly, anyone else from the UKOCR scene that will talk to us. Here is your host, Alan, aka Muddy Duck.
Anywhere in Chicken Town. The bloody scene is bloody sad. The bloody news is bloody bad.
Greetings, friends, acquaintances, and anyone else just happens to be listening. Welcome to another edition of the UKOCR podcast. How is everyone? I hope you all had a great weekend. If you were down at Spartan, I hope it fulfilled all your dreams with all that wet mud. Luckily, it weren't called off, because our men in the Lake District were called off at the weekend, so luckily it wasn't down there. I hope you had a really, really good time. Kerno Killer down in Cornwall. I hope you had a good time at that if you were down there. Well, what a weekend, eh? What a weekend. Weekend of racing was absolutely amazing. Well done to everyone who finished, podiumed. Not going to shout any names out. That's for Swift Half later on this week. But what about Rocket Race news? Absolutely gutted. The last ever event is coming up next year. Really, really gutted. Good friend of ours, David, Kerry. Love what they've done with Rocket Race. Love what they've done with OCR. They're going to be sadly missed after next year. I hope it's not goodbye, but it's just, what do they call it? When someone just goes in as a break. A break? Yeah, a break. Whatever furlough, whatever it is. I hope it's not for long. Anyway, also Hyrox this weekend. Was you at Hyrox? Because if you were at Hyrox, this interview is going to probably interest you. Because if you remember Hyrox London, the mixed doubles, was Sam and Kerry from Vault 164. Well, they're here. They're here to talk to us. Talk to us about Vault 164, talk to us about OCR, talk to us about Hyrox. Anyway, they went this weekend. If you haven't seen results, go and have a look at results. Sam, I'm gutted for you, mate. I'm absolutely gutted for you. Hopefully it heals quick. Hopefully next time you come back, even stronger. It was good to see you out there. And take care. Anyway, listeners, have a listen and I'll speak to you afterwards. Things down in sunny Brighton.
It's not so sunny, mate, but yeah, it's all good, mate. It's all good down here.
So, I used to live in Brighton. Not a lot of people know this, but I used to have pubs in Brighton. Now, let's see if they're still there. So, it used to be in between Queen's Hotel and Hospitality Inn. There was one called Dr. Brighton's.
Yeah, it's not there anymore, but our gym is located just around the corner from where that would have been, mate. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Bath Arms?
Used
to be in the lanes.
You got to ask Kerry on these ones. I'm a bit out the loop on the bars.
It rings a bell. I can't picture it where exactly it is.
It's right in the middle of the lanes. When I first went to see it, I got lost trying to find it. It was like a nightmare trying to find it.
Yeah, it's like a maze.
What a lovely place it is to live, though, Brighton. Are you both from Brighton?
Yeah.
I'm just outside, but yeah, pretty not too far away actually. But yeah, really lucky.
We're so lucky to live down there. It's a beautiful place.
Wow. I used to play. The reason why I was down there, I used to play football for Portslade. Not Portslade. Saltdean.
Oh, nice.
I used to play football for Saltdean. And I also played for Worthing and a few other teams down at the South Coast when I was a lot younger, a lot fitter and things like that. But of course, football, I never made it to top flight. So pubs was always a good way of making money.
The second stop. Yeah, it's a natural second stop, that, mate.
It is cool. So I've been having a look at your website for your gym, Vault 164.
That's correct, yeah.
Is it always that clean?
It's well, I love that you said that. But we like to make it as clean as possible. We're obviously newly opened, given coming up to 2 years in Feb now. But given what happens with everything shutting down, but yeah, we'd like to keep. I'm obsessed with the gym floor. I'm obsessed with a clean floor in the gym. It's a must for me, and so I guess it's rubbed off on all the members knowing that they're going to come into a clean gym floor.
That's pretty cool, that, because I go to a gym in where I live up here, 200 miles away from you, and I live up in Barnsley. And my gym is a complete and utter mess. I go in the morning usually, so I'm usually there from 4 o'clock in the morning because it's a 24-hour gym, mine. I'm there from 4 o'clock, and I can guarantee between 4 and 6 o'clock until, maybe some PTs come in. There's weights everywhere. You're going searching around. I bet I spend 20 minutes looking for weights in the morning.
They probably love you coming in, mate, to be honest. They'll be like, oh, here he is. He's going to put all the weights back and sort all the gym out. Reorganize everything. They love seeing you. You should probably give them a call and get some funds back on your membership.
Get some funds back on the membership. Yeah, that would be pretty cool. So
I think it's important, mate. Like like the vision that we had with the gym is always like, obviously with the training we do, and a lot of people now are doing, especially the OCR community, and you love getting into it. But I think it's important that you're going into a facility that, first and foremost, that gym etiquette is kind of so important to have. Going in, the training is hard enough. You don't want to be like rolling around in other people's bits of hair and other people's sweat. So it's so important for us to just keep it neat and tidy.
I'm in full agreement with you, because when you walk into a clean gym, you feel good about it. You actually want to, or I do. I feel really good. I walk into the gym, and if it is clean, it's like, right, I'm going to get a proper good workout now. That's usually on a Sunday, because no one seems to go on a Saturday night, because my gym is actually in the town centre of Barnsley. So no one goes Saturday night. So it's all nice and clean on a Sunday morning. There's no one else being in. But it makes you want to work out. It does, you want to look for them. You're not having to look for an 18-kilogram dumbbell, because you know exactly where it's going to be, much better.
It's like it's a little bit like turning up at an event, like an OCR event, and if you're one of the lucky ones that are going in the first wave, all the buckets are nice and clean, the ticker tape's up on the side, it all looks a little bit more appealing. You come second day to some of the events, and it's boggy and things are not working right, and this, that, and
you don't know where the route's gone.
Yeah, exactly. I think it mirrors it quite well, actually.
You're right, it is, isn't it? I like that. You don't know where the route's gone. I've been lost many a times at some events.
Same. We've had some nightmares, haven't we?
Yeah, day two, races. Definitely. The kilometres definitely go up on day 2.
Yeah.
Where's the worst place you've got lost?
TM. Well, for me.
Oh, actually, do you know what? I had I was lucky enough to do
Ragnar race.
Ragnar race. Yeah, so I was not that long. Well, I say not that long ago. It was a couple of years ago now. So, Reebok, I think sponsor it. Is Ragnar race. Yeah. Started in my part was in Dover, wasn't it? So we started in Kent, and it was from Kent to Brighton. It was a team event. I believe there was 7 of us, so you just run little parts of I don't know, it was a cut up between about 8 to 12 kilometers per leg, and we all like kind of worked it out. So someone had to be running at one time, obviously every time you tag in and tag out. One of my legs was on the White Cliffs of Dover, but it was probably about, I don't know, it was getting quite dark. So
about 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah, about 10 o'clock. So it was dark. Someone had come in, give me the little flashing light that you put on, and then off you go. I think it was 12K I had to cover. We were doing quite well at the time, so we was out in front. A great event. Like, it was all like, there was signage that was definitely lit up every part of the way. But I took a wrong turn and ended on the other side of the motorway. I was meant to chuck a left, and I've basically chucked a right, gone underneath the motorway, and I found myself with, you know what it's like driving on a motorway in the dark. Either side of it's just pitch black. I was just running around a field, not knowing. I was just trying to find a little Reebok sign with a flashing light, and I couldn't find it for about 45 minutes. I ended up in a little village. I had to knock on someone else's. I had to knock on someone's door, out of breath, in a running vest and a pair of shorts. He answered the door in a bit of a shock, not knowing what's going on at 10:30 at night, and I just had to explain to him that I'm lost.
Did you have to ring your mum?
I did, yeah. I did, yeah. I had a bit of both. I had the thought of we're doing really, really well, I'm going to let the team down. And I had the pure fear of, I don't know where I am.
Yeah.
And I'm actually quite scared.
Yeah.
And and these houses, obviously, you know, on the other side of the motorway, you know, they're not towns, it's just, you don't know whose door you're knocking on. And I was scared, so I rang my mum. I don't know what she could have done. She was in Brighton, so I don't know, but it's obviously your first port of call, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, she said you're quite far away from where you need to go. So that was that, and I got back on my way. And
you got rescued, didn't you?
I did get rescued, yeah. So thank you to that, to those guys that hooked me up. But that's that was a proper get lost moment, mate. At 11 o'clock in Dover somewhere.
That's so sweet, Sam, that you rang your mum. I've got visions of you ringing your mum, you know, and because I don't envisage you of being, you know, I've seen the picture of you, but just talking, I don't envisage you being like a mummy's boy, because I know you've got a bulldog, you know.
No.
And see, we're bulldog buddies here, because I've got two, and yours looks just like mine. So I've got Wilson and Bo. Everyone knows who they are. What's your bulldog's name?
My name's Bernie.
I knew it was going to be an English name. I knew it was going to be we don't name bulldogs like Rover or anything like that. They've got to have a proper English name.
Nice strong name for a strong dog, mate. Yeah, Bernie's my little baby. He shares the same birthday with Kerry, actually.
Yeah, he does. He overshadows my birthday every year now.
And so he should.
I'm used to it.
No,
I've accepted it now.
He is, as you would know, the love for a bull, well, any dog, but the love, they're not running partners, you know, so you have to give them love in a different way. So that is, he just sits on my lap, chills me out, and that's that.
And does he always, you know, when he wants a stroke, he lets you stroke his head for 2 seconds, then does he turn his bum into you?
Yeah, it just just shuffles up the smallest space possible. He thinks he thinks he's like a little chihuahua. Do you know what I mean? He thinks that's his size. So bless him. But yeah, no, he's my little baby.
Do you have a dog, Kerry? Because as we spoke earlier on, my researcher couldn't access your Facebook or Instagram because you're not friends. You know, and you're pretty private in social media. So do you have a dog?
No, I just have 2 kids. No. Fair enough. For me, no dogs, just girls. 2 girls I've got.
And how old are the girls?
The one's just turned 13 and one's just turned 8.
Wow. And you still find time at that age to go and train and do what you do? Yeah.
I have to be quite not regimented as such, but quite organised with my time. But obviously lucky to have a really good venue here that I can kind of work and then train and then go back home, and it doesn't really kind of impact on the girls and their day and stuff. So it's half term this week, so a little bit more juggling about, but we make it happen. We get the training in.
Do you fetch him into the gym just to clean the floor to keep Sam happy?
No one's touching the floor.
It wouldn't be done to the right standards if it's to do with Sam. So he has to do it himself for it to be done.
Cool. But before we talk about OCR, I just want to touch a little bit on Hyrox, because this is where we got to meet. Well, you didn't get to meet me. You got to meet my my buddy Ian. Yeah. He got a little interview from you. What attracts you to Hyrox in the first place? You know, the functional fitness. I know you've got the gym and that, but had you done functional fitness before?
Well, I think the thing, we have. Sorry to answer the question. Yeah, we so in July we done the turf games. So it's like that's more of I would say more of a lighter CrossFit kind of vibe of like a functional fitness competition, a little bit more accessible with like the weights and not needing to have standards of like gymnastics and whatnot. Yeah. So the disciplines within the turf games are a little bit more
every day.
They do kind of they do really well, those guys. They kind of split it in where you can obviously go like into an elite wave, a little bit like OCR, like an elite league or an everyday participant. That makes it a lot more accessible, a lot nicer. So we done that in July. but yeah, we kind of way back, obviously when COVID kicked off, we saw Hyrox advertised as like the virtual challenge. So we opted in for that, and pretty much you could tell with where they wanted to go with the event, even from the virtual challenge. It was a lot more cardio based. I think one of the events was like a max like 3K for time,
3K,
wasn't it? 3K flat
was it
run,
12 minute? Oh yeah, 3K flat run. How long it took? I think.
I believe so.
Yeah.
So yeah, I Hyrox, I feel that is going to be a strong contender for soaking up a lot of people that want a challenge within fitness. That the running element is there, but also people that like yourselves and like what we're doing here, people that just generally go to the gym. I think everything that they have at the event is pretty much in like an everyday gym now. It's in a pure gym. Any commercial gym, you'll find kettlebells where you'll look a little bit, maybe you'll stick out if you're running with them on the treadmill, but it's still doable. You've got a sandbag. I think most gyms now do have like sled where you could wrap the weight up on it and give it a good go. So I feel the side of that is going to be so accessible to a lot of people, and obviously they're new to UK. Birmingham coming this week, so it's their only second event within the UK. So we'll have to see how it goes. But I love the event in London. Like we done it as a paired mixed pair event. Just like anything new, do you know what I mean? You was expecting, you didn't know how to pace it, you didn't know what the competition was going to be like, you didn't know if there was going to be waiting times of going up to a ski or a row. You had to wait for it, just like some OCRs with obstacles and stuff. But
it was very well organized from the start, I think. That event, they kind of nailed that, and the data that you get from it behind that to then go back and just practice the elements from it. I think it's a really good way to kind of train and goals to kind of hit with it, to keep going back again and getting quicker, and it's really good one all round.
I feel so. I think they're endorsed by Puma, and I think as a whole, like it was at XL, so the venue, as like when you go, like the guys with Spartan and whatnot, they always put on the venues are always well thought of. Sometimes some of the best OCR that I've ran is purely because of the choice of courses, the choice of hills and this, that, and everything, and the obstacles come secondary. So I felt with Hyrox, it's just very, very accessible and very trainable, so you can, like Kerry said, the date you get after the event is like, okay, well, look, we were really slow coming out of that part of the forward lunges and whatnot. So, you go back to the drawing board and work at it. So
hungry to improve on it, aren't you?
Yeah, exactly. I think that's the key for us as well, doing the mixed pair event. It kind of helped with the volume of training. If it was maybe us going into it as an individual, like, there's not many OCRs that have done as paired events. Previously, obviously going into Europe's Toughest Mud, I'm sure we'll go over, but it just helps training as well. So people can group up and buddy up, and it just helps training with someone, but also reducing the volume of training. It takes, like yourselves going to the gym later, there's a lot of time and sacrifice that needs to be made when it's such an individual challenge like OCR and whatnot. So I believe Hyrox is a very, very good challenge, and I think it's going to definitely put fitness on the map here in the UK.
Yeah, it was run really, really well. In your mixed doubles, did you all go off together?
Yeah, the wave. There was 2 waves, wasn't there? And even then, it was quite a small wave.
Yeah.
So it was nice to know, it wasn't some big rush the first corner, and you're all piling up and trying to get to the front to just even have a clear run, even if that's not your intention to go out and try and place or do well. It's never nice to get pushed about and trampled on, and so it was a smaller wave, but we go out together. You just got to stick together and kind of.
Yeah, I reckon there was about 10 or 12 pairs in our wave, but then I think there was a wave that went beforehand, about 10 minutes or so before, which I think is how they helped to like stagger the skis and stuff. So you knew who you were kind of looking to chase in the heat, but then obviously until the end you don't get the full results from the other kind of waves that went either. So
it's more like a time trial, isn't it?
Really?
You wouldn't know, you could have and I guess it's the same for the individual event. Someone could go out and absolutely kill the first heat, and then you're not until the second and third. So the pressure's more on, you know, as an individual head as well. So that makes it nice.
Yeah, I mean, when you won, the second place people, Joda and John, I know both of them two from the OCR world. Were you in the same wave as them? Did you know where you were against them?
We don't actually. I don't know if they were in the first or the second.
I'm not sure actually.
I know that there was the guys behind us, or there was some guys in our heat that were great. You know, they come in just behind us. I guess it was those.
Yeah, I'm not sure actually.
Yeah, they were just under a minute behind you in total. You had 1:04.25. They had 1:05.15. Okay. So you was about a minute ahead of them. I was asking, did you knew where you were as you was going round? You know, and were there certain elements that you pushed more on than others?
Yeah, well, given that having that first wave that went out, like I was oblivious. I wouldn't have known. I knew there was going to be 2 or 3 waves, so I guess it's pretty much head down, wasn't it? Head down and just.
We know. I mean, I guess the sled pushes and pulls are always quite. Obviously, for me, it's men's weight, so that's always a bit of a dig, that one, and that's obviously one that we're going to go back at the weekend and try and kind of improve on that time. But when we kind of looked at splits and stuff like that, we've really picked away at what we've done in London and where we can improve. But yeah, I think the sled push and pull was the shocker for me. But it's just managing that weight and kind of, like you say, when you're in a pair, breaking it down, just tactics on that, and when to kind of, when Sam jumps in, when Sam needs a breather, when I work, when he works. So hopefully we'll improve on those times when we go back. That's the aim.
Yeah. No, yeah. Like just saying there, like putting your head down, like you said, like going into the sled, like it was a shock. Not a shock of knowing what, you know, the weight was. Obviously, we've got a gym. We're lucky enough to obviously know what the weight's going to feel like. But I guess it's like thinking you're having a good run with a Spartan, then you pick up the bucket and you've got to go up half a little incline. You know, you take 4 steps in with the bucket on your shoulder and you think, Jesus, actually, I don't feel as good as what I did do just literally 30 seconds ago. So I do you know what? I underestimated how much like kind of that like mind versus body fight that there would be. You know, I think with OCR, you're setting yourself up, you're off-road, the terrain, you know, you're going to get, you know, wet and muddy. You kind of roll up your sleeves from the off, you know, that it's going to be like a nice body, you know, that mind and body challenge as such, where Hyrox, you're indoors, you got running trainers on, you're going to feel, you don't think you're going to go through such a pain cave as what, well, I underestimated it anyway. I don't think Kez done. She flew around, she's done great.
No, I definitely, I was definitely shocked with like the pace of it in a good way. But yeah, there's no time to think. Whereas in Spartan, you know, there's kind of open runs where you're on your own, where you can have a little talk to yourself to be like, okay, like I'm all right, like keep going, you'll be fine. But in Hyrox, it's a little bit do or die.
Yeah, that is. It's obviously the first one being the ski, and like I said at the start, like, you know, most commercial gyms have got them now, but they are a new piece of equipment that most people might not have come across. But it's like anything, everyone goes up too quick, regardless if whatever wave you're in with any challenge of an OCR event, you all go, oh God, it's a bit too quick for me. You know, the first kilometre or two, you're always going to think, right, I better pull back on this. And I definitely experienced that on the sled. So I'll be looking forward to going to Birmingham and just, I guess, trialing some new strategies for, again, believe that we're doing Manchester as a bigger gym, aren't we? We're taking a few more people up into Manchester on the 29th of January. So it'd be nice just to, I guess, a trial run of new strategy.
Oh yeah, what we learned, what not to do from the last time.
and because this is going to go out after Birmingham, are you going to tell us the new strategy? What you're thinking of doing?
Yeah, I'm not going to go that hard on the ski.
We've worked a lot on the ski strategy.
We've worked a lot on the ski strategy. So obviously this going out after Birmingham, I probably could.
You give away a few of our.
Yeah, no, it's more. Do you know what? It's. I come out. We run the first K, thinking we run it to it's a little bit too quick actually. We was always guiding of just going, okay, let's just get the first K in the body. Obviously with it being a shorter, intense event. But I got to the ski and I just got too excited and I just blew up. Like I took a couple of steps off to run the second K. Yeah. And my whole body just it let me know that you'd done that too quick. It definitely did let me know. So I got stung. So I'm going to learn from that from this weekend. But I feel like even as, you know, as weekend warriors as such, or athletes, it's important to have them lessons, you know, and to jump into new events like Hyrox. It's important. It's where I would say we were slow starters. You know, we do enjoy the endurance based challenging kind of OCR runs, don't we? You know,
I'm much more comfortable doing endurance kind of stuff.
Yeah, longer distances and the fight that you have with yourself with those, you know, is the main reason why I've signed up for OCRs in the past, purely not to, you know, I like to compete, but I'd say it's more to compete with myself. So with that quicker intensity that Hyrox brings, it definitely made me go, okay, cool, there's room to go back to the gym and stuff to work on. And so hopefully when this airs, I would have controlled the ski a lot more and been a little bit more fresher for Kez for the sled push and pull.
Yeah, that's the goal.
Was it good having Kerry by your side? No, I'm not Kerry this one, sorry. So when you blew up Kerry, was it your job then to support him and get him back to normal? Or
yeah, I mean, to be fair, I've probably worked and trained with Sam for about, I don't know, seven or so years now, and I've never experienced me running ahead and I was like, oh, something's not right here. But yeah, so that was a shot. I wasn't expecting it, but it was fine. He was still going. And I was like, he'll never stop. But there was a moment I looked in his eyes and he just looked a bit, he didn't look like the normal Sam. So I was like, okay, so it's fine. Like, don't worry. It got to the sled push and I was like, right, okay, I'm just going to stay on the sled until he tells me to get off the sled. And luckily by that point, he'd had a couple of breaths. And even though he was still dead behind the eyes, he managed to push the sled a couple of times.
I think I was probably the only person in the facility of thinking, at least there is like 7 more K to go. Do you know what I mean? I was thinking the longer this event goes on, the better, to be honest, because this is not a great start.
But it was fine. It gave me a chance to find my kind of run pace, because normally I am running after Sam, so it was good for me to kind of lead for a little while. Gave me a little bit of confidence, and then by the burpees he was out of it. He was out of the cave and he was back to normal Sam. Pushing me out the way on the run laps, losing count of the laps. Kez, where are we? Are we going in? What number are we at? Just the normal standard stuff. Me just holding it together, Sam doing the work.
Let's talk burpees for a second, because we're going to talk about Spartan in a minute. But burpees at Hyrox, do you do the step as well? So is it the burpee jump? So do you do the step as well?
Yeah, we go jump. Yeah. We like come in, just do the normal burpee and then just leapfrog.
Yeah, I have seen the step. I have watched many YouTube and I have seen the step techers. I think I would probably pick the step if I was doing it on my own. But as we're breaking it down, I think kind of a length for the jump is good for us. We do a lot of burpees here as well, to be fair.
Yeah, I remember. We do definitely. A lot. I feel like I'd be doing a dishonest if
that's got to be our strongest one, isn't it?
Yeah, doing a step, our members would feel like I can't say we do the step because everyone would be doing it, and I'd be like, stop doing that, please. Yeah. The harder version. So it'd be it wouldn't be fair.
But there's a lot of different techniques I've seen on that one.
Yeah, it's a great event. I without endorsing it or anything, I would. People that just enjoy that OCR challenge of turning up and having a good fitness dig, I do feel that it's a great way to have that, a good entry of functional fitness, isn't it?
Yeah.
So obviously get back in the gym and do a bit.
Yeah.
Well, while we're on the subject of burpees, because that's a good segue into OCR and Spartan in particular, because I know that it was last week or a couple of weeks ago now, you were down at Pippingford.
Yeah, that's right.
And you both ran the open wave, am I right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So how did you do? Did we get burpees down there? What did we find it like?
I'm always doing burpees.
We had a clean run until the spear throw. I was unsuccessful on the spear throw both races that weekend. So that's where I picked up burpees. But apart from that,
I had a clear run on the beast actually.
You did,
I
didn't
did,
you?
yeah, I did. I had a clean run. But yeah, no, Pippinford, like it's just impossible to have a just a challenging race there, isn't it? It's beautiful.
Yeah, the
you know,
terrain's
it's,
great
it's,
there.
it's great, and obviously to see the European champ. I think, is that correct? The European Championships are
They
going to
are, yeah. The European Championships are coming down to Pippinford next year.
Yeah.
That's great.
So,
It's
yeah.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
very lucky to even have that on our doorstep. Obviously, it's
it's close for us. Yeah.
half an hour, 40-minute drive, but pretty much on our doorstep. So, just anyone that's run Pippinford knows that you're always going to get a good run and a good race there. So,
Apart from the spear throw, yeah, which they put pretty much at the end of the race, so you could see the finish line when you were doing the burpees, which was
it was very close. Yeah.
very painful right at the end.
So, Kerry, your times. So we've looked at your times for the Beast, and you beat all but 2 women in the Beast. In AG, in AG you would have finished about 5th or 6th. Have you got plans of stepping up to age category?
Yeah, I mean, at the moment, pretty much reason behind us going into open wave is because pretty much here at the gym. So we run classes on Saturdays mostly. So it means for us that we're not able to get to those early age group elite timings.
Right.
That is pretty much why we are in kind of open wave. But yeah, we've got quite big plans for going into 2022. I will definitely be doing I want to be doing all of my races age group, and in the near future I'd love to try and get into an elite wave and run with the girls like your Jane Skillens and some other really cool girls that I've met and has been speaking to along the way that have said, come and try and jump in the wave. But I'd love to feel fit enough and feel ready to kind of move up. Definitely. I think after, I've been doing OCRs now for 7 years as more just kind of fun. I always just love the challenge, but I feel ready now to start kind of to have a good year, have a good go at age group at least.
Yeah, I think you've hit the nail on the head. I think with Kerry, like, I'm just going to rant about Keza, but like, she should be, with the training and what Kerry is capable of, she should be obviously in the elite wave. But with like anything, like, not getting in the way, because we enjoy turning up. Obviously, we train for the events, but yeah, with the gym, we have found, obviously, with it being newly open, it takes up a lot of time. Like weekends, that's where obviously most people do get their fitness fix anyway. So we run, 3 to 4 classes in the morning, along on top of that with PT. It's hard to, to just try and totally wipe out the weekend when you've got a business going, So especially with Pippinford, it was nice that we could just get to the later wave and just get the race in as a whole. But I think it's been, talking for probably the both of us, like OCRs are just it's our time to kind of just like challenge ourselves to, regardless of what the distance is, it's always nice to push the pace and try and hunt the person down in front of you. But I've always just used them for like almost like a more of a headspace release of like, I'm going to train for this, you can't take a beast lightly, so you've got to go away and do the training.
But you two we should both be age
group. 100% age group, like 100%. And next year we'll obviously juggle, and the gym will be in a better place, and for us to manage that workload and work-life balance and whatnot. But I'm in awe of the guys that can get round in them times, man. Like I look at their times and just in awe. Like it'd be, like, it sounds cheesy, but it'd be an honor to even like get close to them boys
with Luke and was it Jack?
Yeah,
Luke and Jack,
they're great. We always kind of see them, have a chat with them. They're smashing it.
Yeah, so it'd be literally like, near enough like an honor to jump in them that wave and be part of that. So hopefully next year we can juggle things about and get a season pass and we'll give it a good dig
really
and a good go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're both, from your times that we've looked at, you're both easily capable of AG. You know, you're going to podium an AG without a doubt. Elite wave, you know, an elite, it's always a bit difficult when someone runs open to then compare it against an elite time. I mean, like I say, Kerry, on the beach, you beat all but 2 women, and that's including elite. And Sam, I think you was about 14th or 15th out of all the men that turned up. So, you know, that's just based on your times. But you've also got to think in an afternoon, the course is probably a little bit more slippier. You know, the obstacles are a little bit more slippier. So, you know, I guess until you run it, and I would love to see you both there. You know, I think you've both got the fitness and the ability to do well. I'd love to see an AG, if not elite. You know.
I think AG, like I think age group is a given.
AG
like even just for us to obviously just get in there. But you know, with us being obviously myself being a PT, and obviously I'm always pushing people to you know, push themselves and accept challenges and go into the unknown. But yeah, I would much rather, you know, if there's 20 elites and I'm trying to fight for 19th place, I'm good with that. Do you know what I mean? It's going to make me better. It's going to make me fitter and stronger. Yeah. So next year definitely I'd like to, you know, just.
How good would it be if you had on your gym top 20 European championships? You know, something, or top 10 or whatever, you know, even podium, you know. The dream is there.
Exactly. When you got the brand and you got obviously the gym and you look after a lot of people that, you know, kindly look up to us to go, oh God, that's a great challenge, well done. And you get that, you know, you get that on a Monday morning when people come in, like, I can't believe you've done that. But you know yourself, it's so, OCRs are so wide open for everyone to do them. So I guess we have to jump in at the deep end next year and give that a good dig, and I'm looking forward to do so. 100%.
Fantastic. And my researcher sent me one of the best things that I've ever seen. We haven't had anyone like this on our podcast before, but you were both on the TV on Mission Mudder, am I right?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, that's it, mate. Yeah, what was that? 2017, I believe. Was it
2017. What was it like coaching Olympic athletes? You know, that must have been maybe daunting, I guess, at times.
Yeah, it was actually. It was nice. It was like, again, like an honour to even be surrounded by, you know, the likes of Anthony Fowler, Perry Shakes-Drayton, like Jay Jones. You know, these Olympians that have gone on and won gold and whatnot. So it was just nice to be in amongst it and just soak up, you know, the professionalism of them guys and them talk about training and it was great. It was a great experience for myself, and also I'd say for them, I'm still in talking, like I still talk to a few of them now on Instagram and whatnot, and we've become close by them. Just, I think
you help them through the unknown, really.
Yeah, like they've got the utmost respect for some of the guys that took on like Tough Mudders and stuff. You know, that when you're an athlete and you're so stuck to one discipline, I guess you can be, and obviously they openly said that you can be quite arrogant towards other things apart from your sport. So they were like, they're turning up at Tough Mudder and seeing these guys get after it, and they were just like, oh God, they're machines, this lot. Do you know what I mean? And you got like Olympian athletes looking at your standard weekend warrior going, you are a machine. Like, I can't believe how fit you are. Do you know? Where so it was a great experience for everyone all round. And obviously it was nice probably for some of the guys, and you could probably see that in Tough Mudder when we done Europe's Toughest. Some of the guys obviously rubbing shoulders with the likes of, you know, the guys that I mentioned, like Amy Fuller and Jess Varnish, you know, so the people have been at the top of the fitness game. So it was amazing. It was a great experience.
Did any of them really surprise you? Because they did ETM and, you know, none of them really came from that endurance running background. Did any of them really surprise you with how far they got?
No, they did. Jess Varnish, so she was cyclist, indoor cyclist, and made obviously the Olympic team and whatnot, and done very, very, very well within her discipline. But her mindset, you know, like yourselves with Europe's Toughest, anything that goes past north of 20 miles, you're going to tap into that mental place, which they all have. But I believe, Jess was just that one that stuck out, where she was like, I'm not giving in. Like I need. So it was for charity basically. So the more loops they did, the more money that they got. And yeah, just had that, that attitude that we all need sometimes on an OCR course, where when chips are down and you're cold, you're hurt, you're tired, and blisters and whatnot. She dug deep. So yeah, big out to Jess for completing and finishing it and being the one that was leading the way. But I get asked this question quite a lot with them. I think a lot of people within the OCR community was quite surprised with, the distance they'd done. But I think coming from a professional, like a fitness professional point of view, you look at the likes of the athletes that were taking part. They're all high powerful, like explosive, power athletes. You've got Anthony Fowley is a boxer. He's going to be in the ring like intense levels of like 35 to 40 minutes maximum. And then you've got someone like Perry Shakes Jayton, 400 meter athlete, less than 60 seconds work and they're done. So it was, for me, I wasn't surprised. Like, it was more, getting called in to help them. It was more for me to say, this challenge upon you is going to be a tough one mentally. You got to accept that even though you move well, your flexibility and all the functional movement that comes with being an athlete is going to help. But you, like anyone listening to this podcast knows, that second part of it is when it comes down to the completion of, am I going to get just that little nudge to get past this little part that I'm in at the moment, whether that be a hill, whether that be an obstacle, or whether that be the last mile. So that was nice to filter that on. And obviously Kerry joined us on that with some of the training drills we've done. But yeah, it was a great experience. But yeah, respect to all them athletes throwing themselves in the deep end and even accepting the challenge.
Yeah. I mean, it's great. I used to fetch something back similar because it was great watching. I love anything like that. I mean, more recently, you two guys took on ETM as a two-person team.
Yeah.
I mean, I was that. I mean, if my records are right, which I think they are, you got third overall, 60 miles. But of note, though, the two doubles in there, they were both males that beat you. So you were the first mixed pair.
Yeah, no, that's right, mate. It was so it's obviously a great event again. I feel that this time it was nice to have that, it was the team 12
hours, wasn't it, this one?
Yeah,
12. We've done them before for like 8 hours, like single. But yeah, the breaking it down, the laps were, I don't know if they were good or like mindset. You needed to have a proper mindset sitting in that tent waiting.
Yeah, it was a different race. It was a different race to previous. Like you've experienced the 8-hour ones, Kez obviously doing individual, myself doing a few 12-hour and 24 hours away from ETM, but it was a different mindset this time around, coming in, tagging, like you go, I go system, going back to the tent and that wetsuit, like we just wore a shorty, and taking off, putting that back on was like not fun at all.
No. So that was the biggest dig, wasn't it? Knowing you got to go back out for another lap.
That was the worst part, I think.
Yeah. Once you're out on the lap, you're fine. Yeah. Your head's just in it and your legs are moving and you're half enjoying like the struggle. But when you get back, what I found is when I was getting back to the tent, I get cold quick. So I was kind of focused on trying to stay as warm as possible, trying to get some food down me, trying to drink some fluids. But it was a kind of lonely time waiting. And you have to really have a good chat with yourself to get ready to go again.
Like an hour and 15.
Yeah, we was kind of sticking to yours. I went off course, ended up running an extra 5k with a few others, which wasn't ideal. But I'd just come out of Arctic Enema, so my head was gone. And someone did send me up a hill, and I kept running, and I had someone behind me, and I kept saying, I don't know if we're going the right way. It's pretty dark up here. And we was like, it's okay, we'll keep running. And turned out, so that loop took me about 1:20, 1:30. And Sam was waiting back at the lap thinking, why is she not come back in on the timing she's normally been doing. But that was why. So I actually ended up doing probably 11, 12k.
Yeah, because done a good loop, didn't you?
But then actually, when we thought about it, we were kind of close to the second place guys.
He was debating another lap,
Yeah.
Like I went up to,
if that hadn't happened,
I went up to Luke, obviously, who finished first. And we was both sitting there, because obviously, you can get that last part of it. If you can get inside the 12, you can obviously get another lap in. And I don't think after the 12 hours, it would have had to been a sub hour, I think. And I was waiting, I was debating, I was thinking that does take you into second, but
if you don't get in,
then kind of Luke to look at me and tell me, no, you're not getting in. So,
I was firm with we're not doing an extra lap. We wouldn't have made it. Yeah.
We wouldn't have made it, we wouldn't have played, so big up to Kez and Luke for that.
Yeah.
I'm interested because I've signed up for it for next year, and I've moved a little bit more into the ultra side of running, as in going over the marathon distances and that. But what do you guys use for nutrition or recovery?
So I think it is a battle of nutrition. You are right. It's anything past that 2 hour mark, you're going to start to, obviously, the carbohydrates that you need to get in and the fluids. It sounds a little bit silly after saying that, by saying that it's so individual. Like Kerry's got a totally different approach to what I have, even though we're sharing the same training plan. We're taking the same food to the tent and whatnot, or I know what I need and Kez knows what she needs. But I think it's important that
it's taken a long time for us to feel, even going into Spartan Beast, knowing that we needed a little bit of kind of something on the way, halfway, to have like a, I don't know.
It's hard, isn't it? Because it's like trial and error, but then you're thinking, well, I'm not going to try something on when it's your event. But then it's hard to gear up and tell yourself, right, I'm going to go and run a 50k run for training and see what I want to eat on the way. And because every run that I do, that obviously when we lead up to like an ultra or something that's obviously, like you said, past a marathon distance, I'm always craving different things at different times. So I was thinking before ETM, I was thinking McDonald's chips that I really
we did stop at Burger King
I mean?
beforehand, didn't we?
Do you know what I mean? I always thought, like, I was running, I was like, I could really, all right, that's it, I'm getting McDonald's chips because I could murder them. I was thinking, right, potato, carbs, salt, oh my God, it's a dream. And then I got there and running around, I was thinking, oh, why didn't you get shit? I just didn't want them. Like, I just thought, like, I wouldn't eat them now. So my advice to you, it's hard to give you advice, because it's so individual to knowing what. There's just some runs that you go out on and think, I could really do like jam sandwich or just the standard stuff, the peanut butter bagels and what everyone kind of, the generic kind of opt-in food for. But you do crave some weird stuff. It's what's that, cup of soup?
You have cup of soup and you like banana milkshake?
Yeah, banana milkshake.
Yeah, and I.
But if you said that to me now, like if we went for a run together and you said, "Oh, do you want to take a banana milkshake at 50k?" I'd be like, I definitely won't want a banana milkshake. It's weird. Your body goes through all sorts, and I'm sure people listening have definitely experienced what I'm trying to explain very badly.
Yeah.
No, I get that with banana milkshake because I people know listen to the podcast, but there's a place called Edale, which is 32 miles from where I live, and I can catch a train directly there, and it's in the middle of nowhere. Then to get back, I have to run over the top of the Pennines to get back to where I live. So I run back on a regular basis. And I'll guarantee, as I'm coming through a place near Birdwell, there's a McDonald's. And quite often, as I'm going past, I'm thinking, ice cream, banana milkshake, ice cream, banana milkshake. Which one shall I? And I always go for a banana milkshake.
Well, yeah, mate, we'll get it and put it on ice, mate, when you do next year.
Yeah, you'll want that.
Even if you'll have it waiting for you at the end, so someone can keep you filled up with ice, mate. It would be a nice reward.
I'm going to speak to Matt Brook and see if we can get a McDonald's van there. Like a McDonald's burger van.
I'd love that.
I'll be there queuing up for chips, mate. So yeah, if he can, that'd be great.
That would be the best ever. Have we done any other small OCRs down near you? Because there is quite a lot down your way, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. Do you know what? There was a local run, years ago that we used to take part in called the Warrior Run.
Yeah.
And that is literally like on our door. It's literally 10 minutes up the road. And even to this day, like we've done the likes of Spartan Tough Mudders and whatnot, and it's like it was one of the best.
Great.
Wasn't it? So
That was our
out,
like starting race, yeah.
Yeah,
Lloyd's.
literally like Lloyd's, like who put it on. They do like events day, like events days now. Like they got a go-karting track and paintballing and whatnot. So they had a big site. And yeah, I think they reached out and said, "Well, I'm thinking about putting a run up here." They kind of asked for a bit of advice, didn't they? What do you think? And I was like, yeah, you just need a few walls, a few tunnels, and I think you've got the terrain to do it. But he went really heavy on the event village, and it was great. It was like just a standard run out, come back in, just bog standard stuff. But like you said, it doesn't take a lot after running a couple of K to go to that place where you think, Jesus.
It attracted quite a good lot of runners as well, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
In its time, it was really good, really well thought out. Like the first run out was actually pretty tough, and then you went through the kind of forest and some of the obstacles.
It definitely stuck out. Well. And then I think you got, is it Mud Monsters?
Mud Monsters.
Go there.
Yeah. I've never done anything so muddy. It is. I've been stuck in bogs of mud in Mud Monster. Like if you like mud, go there because it's extreme.
And nuts, I've taken on nuts a couple of times. That's another
and
great challenge.
And we love Nuclear. That's not too far from us. Like Nuclear, the obstacles at Nuclear, I used to really like, but I could never really complete. They were quite technical, but in a good way. But yeah, their obstacles used to always test me, I think, up in Nuclear. And I always enjoyed, like, it's quite flat, so it was always quite a quick course as well.
Yeah, see, I prefer the hills. I just love anything like we go back to Pippinford. I just love, again, like that's why, age group would be a thing, I think, next season and whatnot. But you could put me in any wave. I'm comfortable. Just get my head down, and more hills the better. And it just being tougher obviously is what you signed up for. The flat ones for me, like, it's great all round. It's a great challenge. You just got to obviously pick up the pace if you want it to be harder. But I just love anything that requires you to think about walking. And
then if you're ever in Spain, you should go to Mike's gym. Have you been to Mike's gym?
Yeah. I haven't, but I've seen. I know you've been, Kerry, because that is one thing that I've got on my notes here. Kerry's been to Mike's gym.
We love it. We love it there, and it's probably the whole course. You'll never experience a combat zone like it. It is full to the brim of obstacles, strongman obstacles, and then the run itself is only about 2K, but it is horrendous. It will just test you in every way possible.
But I'm sure you'll have listeners that would have gone to Suicide Hill.
If
anyone has completed Suicide Hill, got to the top of it, and not had a life choice of thinking, I just wouldn't be here.
And the owner Mike is great, but he will not. He will swear a lot, and he's great, but he won't let you stop. If he knows you're in a dark place, you'll get an abusive Mike, but in a good way. Yeah. He will get you around that course. So just to go and meet him in himself, he's great, and the whole place is great. So,
but they've done a lot, didn't they, with Toughest? They've done a lot with obviously the Swedish brand Toughest. He had, like, obviously some of the elite runners that were with those guys that they've done what they do. Like, obviously, John out there as well. John,
they set kind of records for the course at one point. They had a lot of people going out there. They had another one of the ladies, Karen Carlson.
Karen Carlson,
yeah, she's really, really good. The Toughest, she went out there, and a few of the other Toughest guys, and set kind of records on the course. And then since then, obviously, then it was COVID and things kind of changed. But at one point, I think it was like Men's Health, like best obstacle course or something like that. Best gym. Yeah.
Well, he's created something out there that is very unique. It's very unique, yeah. But just within himself, how he's approached it with loads of various. It's basically it's like a Disney.
It's a playground, it's like an OCR playground, and it was probably where we trained our best over there. We used to take
4 or 5 days. We used to take groups over there, and when we was running boot camps and whatnot before obviously getting the gym. and people would come back broke, but in
a great way to
in a
experience
great
the
way.
struggle. That
Yeah.
then you just bring that back to races in the UK, and you just then envision the struggle you went through at Mike's, and it seems okay.
It's nothing.
I love the monkey bars over the pool. That's, that would be a dream. If I got a pool in my garden, I would definitely put monkey bars over the top of them.
Yeah.
Because that's got to be the best ever.
I didn't exactly nail that when I tried
the
it.
flying monkey, yeah. It gives you a little bit more confidence, doesn't it? Knowing that you're going to fall into the water than on your back, but you still got to be brave to give it a good go, I guess.
Yeah.
And I mean, talking about flying monkeys and that, Sam, I know that you actually did King of the Swingers into the slackline climb down. Yeah. I mean, that was pretty hard, that.
Yeah, no, it was a tough one. I just love all the old school. I don't know. It's just not the technical. Do you know what? With the obstacles, I feel we done world champs, didn't we? Not that long. Well, what year was that? When the rig? No, the rig. World champs Pippin.
Oh yeah, where everyone got stuck.
Yeah, like the completion rate. I think it was only a handful of people. So like rigs like that, when it's just based off pure grip strength, I enjoy them, but I just prefer the ones that are just mad, like Tough Mudder, just style, like you got to leap on this, grab this, climb down that. I'm just all over them ones. Anything that requires like a little bit more fear, I love. But yeah, I don't know, that one at World Champs, it was very tough. It was just based on grip. So, I don't think the technical ability didn't really shine through. It's just, if you had the grip, you could get across.
Yeah.
If you didn't have grip strength, it was a no-go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't really a balance, was it? It wasn't the balance of technique v grip. It was just purely, have you got the grip strength to get to the end? Because it was very, very tiring.
It was long, and I think like even with the little balls you have now and the nunchucks and even just standards, I think the one at Spartan recently, just the standards,
Spartan ones are great. I think they're so, I was never brilliant at the obstacles, but I found like Spartan ones are just enough that obviously like is it the twister?
Yeah.
That's quite a tricky one. Like probably that's the only one now that I feel like I've got to work on. Like the rest I feel pretty confident on, but I think they've got their obstacles right. And then if obviously you don't make it, then those 30 burpees like will warrant that.
I feel like the OCR obstacles, like obviously you're trying to find new ways to slow people down and whatnot. But I think the more they evolve, it's going to take out a big part of the community that is going to feel inadequate. That I'm not going to sign up for that one because
I can't do any.
They're almost looking at it before attempting it. Like we look after people here that one of our main jobs as trainers is to breed confidence for people and to
get them to have a go,
for them to to accept the challenge. But then if I'm showing them something that is
a multi-rig that's full of
it's more pushed towards like a gymnast more than just like your everyday runner. It's very hard to keep that evolving, but then at the same time for it to be accessible to just your everyday athlete. So I feel Spartan got it right with the rigs. They're not over complicated. They burn when you're going across them. You have to shake the arms out and then you go again. So, and I think Judgment, do you remember Judgment Day? They had quite a few. Just great. You just go up to them, you had a look, you try and find your little route, and you gave it a good go. So I hope that obviously when some of the runs are coming thick and fast now, I hope that they just stay tough but fair and not.
I think there's one obstacle that stands out that I'd love to I say I'd love to see it in Spartan, probably not, but when we went to Canada World Champs, there was it Stairway to Heaven? And it was like a climb up. You had to like take a hand off at the top and then come all the way back down. And I just remember so many people were just either not attempting it because it was quite high, or just attempting it and just it was really gassy on the forearms, wasn't it?
Something you could train for, though.
Like something you could train for. But I just remember that as like a standout obstacle, like
standard, but tough.
Yeah.
There's Nuts has that. So Nuts Challenge, they have a Stairway to Heaven, and so does Nuclear, if I remember rightly. I'm not 100% on Nuclear. I know they've had it at one point. I don't know if they've still got it, but those are the only two in the UK that have done it. But that is one of the obstacles that is is super challenging and probably one of the ones that probably would have a high failure rate.
Yeah.
Do you think that's something they'll put into the champs when it comes up?
I'm not sure if Spartan will, because Spartan have not really done it. They do the and I can't remember what they call it, but it's the metal climbing frame that you climb up underneath and then you climb over the top. So it's an inverted climb, and then you go over the top.
Little twist to it, yeah.
That's tough. That one,
tough. Yeah, no, it's similar. What do you think of the obstacles? Like, obviously, do you feel like the more race directors and events coming up and they evolve and kind of want to challenge the so-called front runners and people that obviously?
It's a good question.
How do you feel the community like kind of going towards it? Do you feel they're just thinking it's like a rock climbing contest, or do you know?
I've been in it for over 10 years now. Coming up to 10 years this year. So I've been into OCR for 10 years. And when I started, the toughest obstacle you had was a straight wall. That was the toughest obstacle. Yeah. You got monkey bars, and they were actually made out of ladders. They were strung up from trees. You were lucky if it was made from scaffolding poles. That was like super fantastic. Yeah. And back then, when I got into it, there was a lot of other people getting into it, and I mean masses of people get into it. Why? Maybe because it was easy, but it was also challenging. Now we've moved on, and I've seen it move on and move on and move on. I've got to admit, I think I'm at a point now where we've gone too far ahead of ourselves, that we're not attracting those new people into the sport because the obstacles potentially are too hard. Yeah. You know, I put a race on myself, so people know what that is. It happens every August in Derby. And we don't have big rigs. We have a rig, but ours is more fun elements. So it's designed for the newbies. It's designed for as a new to intermediate style obstacle course race. We make it tougher for the elites because we let people run around it as many times as they want in 3 hours. So it's a 6K course. If you want to go around it once, you go around it once, twice, 3 times. Take your kids around with you. Do whatever you want. We make it tough like that. It's a balancing act. It is a balancing act, and it's how far you go. You know, when you look at Tough Mudder, they've brought some good obstacles in, but they haven't really brought in obstacles that are challenging the runners. So they're challenging them a little bit, but not pushing that challenge. So for instance, they realized probably King of the Swingers was far too tough for 50% of the runners who did Tough Mudder. So they reduced it and made it now well swung.
Yeah.
So you still got that swing, but you're not falling 4 meters into water.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I do feel like probably echoes what I was saying about the Warrior Run. Like, obviously what you guys have, what yourself has put on for your guys up north in Derby is like, we've had that, and they said if you want to make it harder, you just run it again and again and again. I think people that are pushing that elite standard and that fitness community, they'll accept that challenge, and I don't think obstacles need to be challenging where you're running up to them thinking, okay, well, I need to be good at this, I need to be good at that. I think the standard workouts that we do down here at the gym, like, are sometimes the toughest because it is what it is, and you adopt a different attitude at it. You go at it with a little bit more pace, or you try and make it a little bit harder with a little bit more weight, but it's pretty much standard stuff. So I do hope that the runs that are coming up and next year, they don't throw in some curveballs to make, and I hope it doesn't really affect the OCR community where race directors are making them so tough for the
no
front.
One's even attempting
no one's attempting them because
everyone's not failing them.
Like we've got guys down here that are getting into fitness, and I guess the next step for them, and I'm sure some of your listeners will experience, they're part of boot camps, you go to the gym, you do the classes. The next step after that is obviously to go into that feeling that you had when you even turned up at boot camp. You was a bit nervous, and everything that comes with that anticipation and that energy that took you there in the first place is the next step would probably be an OCR, or it would be the likes of a Hyrox, like a challenge as such. So for us, it would just be filling people with confidence, saying you're fit enough, you're fit enough, you're fit enough, and then you get to an event, and then they're a little bit disappointed with their performance, or you kind of. I just hope that, like you said, just carrying a bucket of stones or a flat wall is, it can be tough if you run it at the right pace.
Yeah.
It needs to be doable. I use the always word doable.
Yeah.
So with my obstacles, I get a 7-year-old lad to test my obstacles, and they have to be doable for him. He might not make every one, but he's going to have a good crack at them and manage most of them.
Yeah, no, I think it's important, the failure rate as well, to get them going back and giving them a try, and it gives you something to train for. So, but it's hope that doesn't happen in the OCR.
No, I don't. No, I know you two are busy, but I want to talk out. Do you want to give any shout outs to anyone? Is there any sponsorship? I know we talk about Vault 164 down in Brighton on North Street. Head down, speak to these guys if you're down that way.
Yeah, no, if anyone's listening to this and they're coming down to Brighton, just give us a shout beforehand. We'll hook you up. We'll put you into one of the classes. Obviously, suit yourselves, either strength-based or conditioning-based. And I guess the last shout-out would, obviously, some of your listeners would have seen them at Spartan races, would be Hill Country Collective. Ben and his team have set up a great company with, obviously, recovery in CBD form. They got oils, gummy bears, balms, and whatnot. So we're high on recovery. We've been pushing that for a while now to our members, and I can't.
We can't fault it, can we?
Yeah, no, I can't. It's been good. It's it's woke me up to a whole variety of stuff that I should be doing. So yeah, it's a great product. So if any of your listeners are thinking about that extra little nudge of recovery,
and see him at Spartan, go chat to them. They're great.
Give him a shout. He's a great guy.
Fantastic. Thank you, guys, and good luck this weekend. It's been a pleasure. No, I can't get my words out now. It's been a pleasure speaking to you.
And to you.
Likewise. Thanks for having us.
Thanks so much, Alan.
Cheers, guys. That was perfect.
Thank you. That was good.
Well, there we go, guys. That's another edition of the UKOCR podcast with Sam and Kerry from Vault 164, based down in Brighton. If you're ever down there, pop down there. Pop into some of the pubs that I actually mentioned that I used to have. Didn't own them, just like rented them, subcontracted them, whatever you want to call it. We used to call it leasehold back then. And I also used to manage a few down there as well. But anyway, that's enough about me. What's coming up? So what's coming up this week? We have got another edition of Who's Hot. Yeah, it's Nuclear next weekend, and Will, Mark, Becky, they're going to get together again, and they're going to do Who's Hot again. How good's that, eh? It's talking about the Challenge Cup. Forget about Spartan now. Spartan's been and done. We're now on to Nuclear, and we're going to try and fetch as many of these as we can going forward. Don't forget, on Friday, Swift Half. Click onto that, Swift Half, your latest update on OCR news. I'm going to presume, I'm going to turn around and say it's in the notes anyway, is Rocket Race. So we'll have a little chat about that. There's some other things in the notes as well. And don't forget, next week we've got another podcast as well, which every Monday we're going to fetch you someone different. As you know, we are the most consistent OCR podcast in the UK, if not the world. I don't know if we are the world. Maybe we are, maybe we're not. Anyway, until next time, people, thanks very much for listening. I love you all. Take care. See you later. Bye.
Whenever your heart is broken, don't ever forget you're golden. I will find the light in your soul, I'll be there. Never leaving you in the darkness, even when you're out of focus. I will be the light in your life, you'll see it clear. I'll be your inspiration, 'cause I